Hello everyone, and welcome to another one of my speedruns. It's been a while. No, I'm not dead. This time I'm doing Receiver 2. A fan of mine mentioned to me how the game came out, and I was a big fan of the original, and figured I'd give this a go, and I just so happened to get good enough at it to do one full solid run, no deaths, and all of that. Since I couldn't find any runs of this anywhere else online, I kind of had to make my own rules. Timing starts... Well, firstly, you use in-game time through the pause menu. Time starts when you hit restart, and time ends when the final cassette tape clicks. That's how I timed it personally. Maybe the community at large will decide something else is better. That's perfectly fine. I had to time it like this because I'm using a new computer, and Linux is not very favorable with live split, and just had some recording problems, some editing problems. But we're here, we're doing the run. Let's get into it. So I'm starting a little early. I end up dying on this run, mainly because I need to show what happened beforehand when I click restart, since that's when the run starts. And this is how I end up dying, is I just get shot through cover. And time starts now. There is a way to make that loading screen go a little faster just by moving all of the visual stuff down to minimum, but I didn't, just because I don't know, wasn't taking this run super seriously, so you might just see me mess around a bit, or just not do very well in general, but I did a full completed run, and that's extraordinarily difficult, at least at my skill level. But we end up starting off with the Colt SAA, which is it's probably the most difficult gun in this entire game to reload, as you have to half-cock the hammer, open the cylinder, eject any spent rounds, and then put them back in, or not put them back in, but, put fresh rounds in, close the cylinder, and fully cock it again, it's tricky when you don't know what you're doing, but when you do, it feels really good to get a full reload through in, under 10 seconds. If you didn't know, Receiver 2 is a game that has very, realistic guns, we'll say, where, a gun can jam, you have to load each bullet into a magazine individually, same with revolvers. And it's a very complicated game at, surface level. Once you get the hang of it, though, it feels really good to just nail all of those fast and easy reloads. But for the gameplay itself, in this speedrun specifically, we have to go through 5, what do they call them? Ranks. We have to go through 5 ranks, and the first 2 are both easy and difficult. They're easy because there's not many serious threats, but they're difficult because, since there are no threats, you have to go extra fast because it's a speedrun. And that just leads to a lot of deaths. You'll notice that I end up slowing down a lot by tier 4 and 5. And what I'm doing right there is, you might notice that I shoot the cassette tapes instead of listening to them. And credit to the voice actor who did those. I think he did a wonderful job. However, it's a lot slower to listen to them, and you'll see me screw up in rank 5, where I actually end up listening to them because I felt I was in too tight of a position to shoot them, and it wastes a lot of time. As you'll notice, we're already at rank 2. It's not going to go that fast from here on in. Rank 2 introduces the drones, and the drones are kind of weak, but if you cannot kill them in one shot, you're wasting a lot of ammo and a lot of time. The turrets, on the other hand, are decently easy. They'll only trip you up if you just don't know where they are when you enter a room. I always go for the camera personally, but as I said, Receiver 2 is a very realistic game, minus the movement. You can jump on anything. But with the turrets, you can shoot out the leg so that they fall over, or you can shoot the barrel, and then when they try and fire at you, the bullets will just go sideways, or they just won't hit you. You can hit the ammo box in the back to have it waste all ammo and only be able to get one shot off. You can hit the camera, which is pretty much disabling them, which is what I go for. That's what I did right there. And I like that one personally because it's just a big area and there's no extra caveats with it. You just shoot it and they can't hit you anymore because it doesn't know where you are. Later on in the run, there's going to be turrets, those wall-mounted turrets, and then the regular turrets will be armored and all of that fun stuff. There'll be security cameras that send drones after you, and eventually you can't play it as fast as I am right now. And the problem with playing this game fast is you have to be constantly listening, because it's all randomly generated. I don't know where any of the tapes are, I just know where they can possibly spawn within a room. Also, as you can see, you can jump through glass, which is extremely fun, and I'm sure I waste time doing that, but it's just too satisfying for me to avoid. And this was a fun game to run for a while. Eventually, when I was just simply unable to get a run for days at a time, and you'll notice there with the turret, or the drone, I ended up shooting out the top propeller so that when it tried to fly at me, it crashed into something and disabled itself. You can kill the enemies in this game in a lot of different strange ways, and it all just depends on how well you can aim your gun. Anyway, as I was saying, this run this run gave me nightmares, if I'm being honest, because it's not because it's scary or anything, but just because I sunk so much time into trying to get a run out for this that it ended up bleeding into my dreams. I had this nightmare where I upload this video and the developers of this game just end up publicly shaming me because I'm playing it wrong. It doesn't look realistic when he does it. So that's a bit of a fear of mine. I know it's an irrational one, but it's still there. I just haven't had nightmares about a speedrun before, if I'm being honest. And I've run a couple other games in the past. If you don't know me, I used to kind of speedrun, and I still kind of do now, but kind of not really. College got in the way, but college has been easy because everyone's on lockdown, so I've not been kind of busy. It's more just me trying to hone the skills that I'm interested in. So games have been kind of off my radar, but then I got my new computer built, and it's amazing. It got me back into games a bit, and sorry, I have to drink some really disgusting coffee. I just woke up a couple hours ago. It got me back into games, kind of, and it made me think where I was going with my career, college-wise. I'm probably going to be going into game development, even though I'm more of, as weird as it is to say, as I'm shit with art. I'm kind of an artist, I guess. I know art. I can be an art critic, but I can't really make art that well. And everyone hates those type of people because it's all critique and no, I don't know, you can't make what people put out there. You'll notice here that the drones, or the sentries, I'm going to be mixing up those names a lot. Sentries are really shit at getting to you oftentimes. If they don't have a straight shot, they'll just end up looping around you over and over. At which point you just need a second to take a clear shot, and they'll probably be out. I think right up here you'll see me do a bit of stupid movement where I screw it up, but you can walk on the top of those fences, and your jump in this game is your strongest weapon almost, because you can just traverse the levels like they're nothing, like they're not even there. And that's part of the whole, I think that was part of the nightmare I had of the unrealistic thing, because oftentimes you'll just see me jumping on top of all of these rooms, and what it looks like I can jump on top of is really stupid. But it's one of your biggest skills in this game, is being able to move very fast, and there's all these little tricks that you can do in movement and shooting tapes and just getting good at reloading that made it a really interesting game for me to speedrun. I don't know if I'll come back and beat this time. It might be cool too, but I wanted to do this just to get the run out, to get a video out, and to say, I'm still here, I'm still alive. You know, close calls here and there, but I'm still here. But we're on to Rank 3. Rank 3 introduces the mounted turrets. And this is where I'm going to start really conserving ammo, and it's when your biggest bit of knowledge that can help you is you don't have to kill everything. Sometimes it's just best to let something go unless you think it's going to be an immediate threat. Even I break this rule sometimes just because, you know, I don't have 1,000 hours in this game. I'm just kind of doing my best. And I have, well, let's see how many hours I actually have put into this game. I'll have to log into Steam. How many of you use password managers? I use KeyPass.
We have reached out to you with a warning. If you are
Be interested to hear. I have 3 new items in my inventory. And I've played for 47 hours, so this was roughly the exact same amount of time it took me to finish a Hunt Down the Freeman speedrun. As if you didn't know, I used to be the world record holder for that. Apparently someone took that record from me, but I have my own gripes with what happened with that. Sorry if I don't entirely talk about the run. I'm kind of using this as half of an update video as well, just to showcase what I've been doing, and also just talk about what's been happening with me, because I still get comments from some of you guys, and some of you actually do, you know, reach out to me at my Discord tag, and it's really cool to talk with fans sometimes. Doesn't stop me from just being a lonely individual. You know, even though I'm a very social person, I don't have the ability to get out of the house very often, so a lot of my connections are online. So, you know, if anyone in the past has ever messaged me just saying that, you know, my speedruns were great, or I'm a very entertaining person, I appreciate that. Those comments were just like what kept me going all these years. Even though, has it been years? I don't think it's been years since I first started doing speedruns, but it's been a while. It feels like it's been a while.
This tape is designed to test your...
You'll also notice that I'm not shooting the tapes past 3. That's because what I should have done in this run is past 5, or at 5, you should be shooting the tapes, because you don't know when you're going to find a lucky cluster of them like I did, and then you just end up wasting time listening to them. Whereas in these levels, you have to play them slow enough that it doesn't really matter if you shoot them or not. You're not going fast enough, and you're not going to be lucky enough to find a group of 4 tapes at, like, tier, or rank 3 or 4. But yes, what I was mentioning... Oh man, I'm already at 4. Jeez, I waste a lot of time in rank 4 and 5 in this run. Smacked my watch on my table. Yeah. But I just want to give a sincere thank you to anyone who talked to me after I published all of those runs, and, you know, I don't necessarily know if I made, like, you know, any seriously, like, long-lasting close relationships or friendships with people, but it was always cool once in a while to get that kind of nice feeling of, someone appreciates what I do, I'm not a complete failure. My therapist would kill me for talking like that, but fuck it, this is my video. So, I've been up to college mainly. It's what killed a lot of my free time, was I was focusing on college. I tried to get my grade up to that, you know, 3.0 GPA. I've been working on, you know, my life skills, you know, working on coding, drawing, my credit score, all these very boring things that no one my age does. But it took away a lot of my time from video games, and now that I'm in quarantine, or like now that I have an excuse to be back inside, which I know that this whole coronavirus thing is terrible. It's affecting a lot of people negatively, but this has been one of the greatest times of my life to just stay inside, focus on myself, and just relax. It's been so relaxing to be inside. I love it. I wish that I could just stay inside like this forever. But sadly, that's not going to be the case, so I've been, you know, taking this time to just do as much stuff as I can, and I wanted to get a speedrun out, and this game just, it happened to meet a lot of the criteria that I have internally for what is a good speedrun. Little or no guides, or like no real previous runs is a big one. You know, that little documentation means that I have to think about what's the best way of doing or approaching the things in game when it comes to speedrunning, because it makes you really reevaluate how to do a run. What's something else that I look for in speedruns? I don't like to do popular stuff. The more unpopular or obscure it is, the better. But I also like that sort of air of everyone knows about this game to some degree, but no one's really speedrunning it. And it's really hard to find games under that sort of blanket. Hunt Down the Freeman was a perfect example of the current run for it was terrible, it had no effort put into it, So then I took the 50 hours out of my time, plus some extra for editing and making various stuff, testing. And I was able to make a run I was really proud of. And for Sleeping Dogs, that was more my introduction to speedrunning, where I really liked the game. The record seemed kind of dead, but there was some documentation to it, but it wasn't great documentation. So I ended up taking on the run as a challenge from the previous world record holder, and I ended up getting the record, and then it was taken from me, and then other people contested it. And what the funny thing with speedrunning and like Hunt Down the Freeman, Sleeping Dogs, is people have this really shitty, this is a threat tape. I could have disabled these, again, a bit of optimization that I could have done on my part, but this was very much a wing it run. When it comes to threat tapes, you just eject the magazine and pull back the slide so a bullet goes out. And for revolvers, just dump all the ammo. And for the SAA, you're just going to have to waste ammo because you're probably not going to be able to eject all rounds fast enough. If you can, awesome. I've never had a threat tape with an SAA, but one thing you can do is just fan the hammer, spend all your rounds so that they don't get used. Anyway, like I was saying, my problem with speedrunning and the community that surrounds it is everyone is so shitty and elitist, and everyone thinks that they're better than themselves. People don't use speedrunning as an excuse to better themselves or improve their skills. They use it to, say, I'm the world record holder, I'm better than you. You suck compared to me. And they'll get so elitist and shitty about every minor thing about their game, to where if you question them, if you contest them on anything, you are treated as subhuman. And I hate that. And it's what killed a lot of my love for speedrunning. If I really only want to speedrun things that have no community around them, and where I am the ultimate first person of the community to do it. Because I know that I'm not shitty. I'm very humble when it comes to the things I can do. I know my limits, I know what I'm good and I'm bad at, and I don't really pretend like anyone else is better than me. And the problem with that is that speedruns inherently say, I'm better than you, my time is faster than yours. And it creates this really toxic environment where everyone, it's a competition to be better than the person above you. And if you're not, then you're a failure of a speedrunner. And I've seen so many communities and so many potentially amazing games fall victim to this. And while speedrunning in itself is inherently an amazing, incredible thing for gaming and just, building up your character as a person, it also has this double-sidedness to it where you're also just put under this lens of, I have to be better than the other person, and if I'm not, they're going to be shitty about it. Great example. I'm just going to do the same thing I did in my Hunt Down the Freeman speedrun. Take a moment to shit-talk some people. Worster, really not a nice person. I don't like him. If anyone ever comes to him with a potential thought of, hey, maybe this is faster, I had a thought, he will shit all over you and treat you like a joke. He will use you as a joke to his audience to be like, hey, look at this idiot. I know more than him, and I'm going to use him for views. And it's just so toxic. I don't see the positivity in a person like that. Maybe I'm just not seeing some other angle to it, but it's just so many people in the speedrunning community seem to act like Worcester, where their veteran status, their experience seems to give them this elite complex where they believe themselves to be better than everyone else around them. And it's so shitty and toxic, and I hate it. And just about every single speedrunning community I've seen or even participated in has devolved to that to a degree. It's terrible. And it killed so much of my love for speedrunning. It's why I don't upload anymore, because everyone wants to see speedruns out of me. No one wants to see, dickhead guy just sits around and talks about why he's sad for an hour. No. If people want to talk about that, they can send me a message. I'm probably just repeating everything that I've said before, but it's why I haven't really uploaded too much, and why my upload before this was more of a joke upload, mocking the style of video that was popular back then, which I ended up falling in love with, believe it or not. But what I'm trying to say is I don't know what I'm doing with this channel, and to an extent, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Just kind of figuring stuff out. That's why I have a therapist. I always use my therapist as a way to joke about myself to people. Because usually, internally, one of the things they think is, well, what's wrong with that guy? Why does he have a therapist? And I don't know, I have like a whole novel's worth of reasons to need a therapist, but none that I'll talk about publicly. If you wanna talk to me about myself, you know, you can find my contact details. Probably in post-production, I'm gonna put these on the screen, or they'll just be on the screen in the first place. Maybe I'll add a timer, maybe I won't. We'll see. I don't really know. One of the problems with this video is going to be editing, because I'm on Linux, so I have to use OpenShot instead of what I'm used to, Vegas Pro. Pirated, obviously. I don't respect big software companies that want you to pay thousands of dollars if you're just like an individual person. Those, licenses should be for actual giant companies that need to buy the product properly. I have my own views on piracy, where, yeah, sure, it's stealing, but, I don't see it as bad stealing. I see it as just a type of stealing, but stealing has a negative stigma to it. Have some more crappy coffee. Shoutouts if you're drinking coffee with me. I used to hate coffee, and then, I don't know, I got a coffee grinder, and then I got proper beans, and now, I don't know, I like coffee. But now we are on, what do we call them? They're rank 5. I don't like the word rank. It implies, like, multiplayer stuff, I feel. It should be level 5. To make it more game-like, but still realistic. There would have been some great opportunities there to, I could talk game design all day. It's what I want to get into. I originally got into college to be a 3D modeler and animator to make the kind of guns that, you're seeing here. Receiver was a big inspiration for me, along with that animator Hyper, the one who made all those gun reloading animations, and all that other... there's a whole bunch of other stuff online, but those were big sources. And that's why I felt very personally about Receiver 2, and it spoke a very honest and true message at the end that I really agreed with, around the subject of the threat. I guess if we're this far and I'll start talking plot reasons, the threat is more just like the negative mindset that a lot of modern day people tend to adapt, and it's one that I've for years now tried to avoid and work out of my mind. So the game's plot's very personal to me. I don't know, it spoke to me. And even right now, I'm not going through a great time. I'm not doing great. Having a voice crack, drinking some crappy coffee. Kind of on, I don't know. I'll avoid the subject entirely and just say, I have a therapist for a reason. But I liked the message of this game. I expected it to be like Super Hot, where it was just pretentious and shitty, and it didn't really have anything important to say, whereas this one actually seems like a more mature Super Hot, where it wants to actually send a legitimate message and teach people things and improve them, and I can seriously support that. Almost messed up the run here. And you'll notice I'm playing so slowly because this was one of like 2 runs that made it to rank 5. And the SAA is just the most difficult thing to aim. It's deadly accurate, but it's difficult to aim. You barely have any sightline on it. But if you can line up the sights correctly and just know where you're aiming, there's no chance of it going off point, unlike, the high point or something, where you aim it at something and the bullet seems to just go several inches off in whatever direction it feels like, because the high point hates you and it'll jam every 3 rounds. Almost considered getting a high point in real life because of this game, actually. Because the backstory to it was really cool, and I encourage you, if this game looks like your kind of thing, absolutely go for it. The rank down thing only started to bother me when I was really new to the game, and I didn't know how to progress through the levels very fast. Now that I know how to beat the game in under half an hour, the rank down doesn't even feel like a problem anymore, which is weird, and it's probably why the developers didn't see it as a problem themselves, because they're almost certainly very good at this game. Not to imply I'm good at this game. I think I'm decent. I got a speedrun done of it, and hopefully my timing standards stick, so that everyone uses my timing standards, you know, if this game ever gets popular. But, yeah. You can really see some of my bad luck on Showcase here. I still haven't found a single tape. And rank 5's been going on for a while now. I've just been spending bullets and not getting any progress. Because at rank 5 you have very few opportunities to get more bullets, because 9 out of the 10 of your enemies that you're going to see are the drones, which don't drop ammo, and security cameras, which you can't hack and don't drop ammo. So you have to play super, super conservatively. And it's a difficult level. It's absolutely the case of don't shoot something unless you know that you have to shoot it. Even the security cameras, you should avoid shooting those, because if you've killed all the drones, the security cameras can't do anything to you. All they'll do is just summon a nearby drone to your area, as if the drone has spotted you. And just don't. Just kill the drone over the camera if you can. A lot of this advice, not advice I personally have followed. That's because I was winging this run. I could probably shave off several minutes just by, you know, knowing how to, like, when to shoot tapes and when not to. But this was... I just wanted this run over with. Like I said, it was very weird to have nightmares about a run. Ooh. 2 drones. I don't know if this isn't obvious, this is post-commentary. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but... yeah. This part was especially scary because I fell from a, like, high-up area, so then I couldn't move as fast, and now I just have to backtrack through everything, and... at this point, I figured, fuck it. I've been seen by the alarm. Whatever's going to be chasing me is going to chase me. Let's just try and lead it through some of the rooms so that it can, like, lose me. As the drones don't really have great mobility, they'll just slam into things until they can find you and then slam into you. That's why the cameras aren't as big of a threat as they'd seem, because all they can do is send a drone after you. That's it. And I apologize if I'm repeating anything. This isn't the length of commentary that I'm used to. I'm very used to cramming all of this into, like, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours of post-commentary. A shorter game that goes under half an hour is not... it's not my, like, what I'm used to, but I'm not saying it's a problem. And a tip with the SAA, you can see... in front of the hammer, whether or not you've fired the round that you're chambered, or if it's like, if there is no round. I finally find my first tape, and then soon after this, I just immediately find 2 other tapes. Which is absurdly lucky. I didn't expect to get that lucky. Where 1 tape, then 2 tapes, and then by the 3rd tape, I had to wait for the 2nd tape to, finish, I think, because I believe I shoot the 3rd tape. It's not bad coffee. It's okay coffee. It's passable. I just need some caffeine to wake me up, because I know this is going to be a kind of busy day. I've got some Python to write. I was trying to make my own server, Discord server at some point with my own custom-made bots, but I don't know, it's a whole process.
That the threat is real. There is hope that you can hear insight too, and to your true.
And then the 3rd tape is, I want to say it's on the balcony to my left, if I remember right. This was it. I did not. It's right there. I did this run a few days ago, and I only now got a chance to. And I showed my time there, just in case the timing standards change, and it's when you shoot the final tape. But I did this run a few days ago, and it's only now that I've gotten the privacy to talk in the open and just say, hey, you know, here's the run, I'm doing my voiceover. I can't exactly talk at this volume and this speed without attracting some attention in this house. And really now, the run's over. I'm just waiting for the tape to finish because I was stupid and didn't shoot the tape. Maybe it's stupid but safe, when I should have been fast and idiotic, I don't know. But that is the Receiver 2 speedrun. And the final time, I believe, is 29:02? Because you'll hear in a second, there's going to be the click. And then I pause, 29:02, that's the run, fade to black. And if you didn't know, what happens is that the game just loops and your progress is reset for this current run. Meaning that I've completed it. And that's it. So, overall, this was a really fun run. I might come back to it at some point if my time's beaten. Maybe, maybe not. It really just depends on how much time I have after this. But either way, I really want to say thank you to anyone who watches. Anyone who cares about my channel or what's going on. It means a lot to me. And I'm sure every YouTuber ever says that, and it's just cliche and all that, but I never intended for my channel to get past 2 digits in subscribers, so it's very weird seeing it go higher into 200, 300, 400. Part of it makes me want to make more videos. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I don't know. It's really, I need to have the inspiration inside to make a video that I want, but I'm rambling. It's not about the run. Whatever. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. I got a shower to take. I'm very sweaty, and I have some coffee to finish, so see you when I see you.